What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tuesday afternoon episode of the Afternoon Show here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. A lot to talk about here today, but it's not just me talking about. We got a full cast and crew. First off, we got the boy Foxborough Frankie C. Frankie, what's going on, buddy?
Woo! It is cold in New York. When
There
I
you
say cold, when I say cold, I mean cold. It ain't even higher than 15 degrees. At nighttime, it's like -3. It's insane.
It's 4 degrees here. 4 degrees here without the wind chill.
It's 4 degrees in Indiana.
If y'all played football, y'all know where my hands are going to stay warm.
I don't understand. Once you get to 0 degrees, that is literally the absence of temperature. How do you even measure less than the absence of temperature is amazing to me. Like, I don't know what kind of instrument you got that measures the absence of temperature, but that's insane.
I'm just going by the Weather Channel, man.
I'm just like, hey, ask the Weather Channel.
Of course, our other resident cold weather friend in Jay McLovin in Texas. Jay, you're getting snow. The hell?
Yeah, we got a 1/4 inch. The whole world came to an end. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Now, mind you, it's not Frankie snow. It's not Gonzo snow. But you got to understand, for Texas, you might as well just had a damn blizzard. There might well it would be equivalent to 10 feet of snow out there in freaking New York or Indiana or wherever else. So for us, it's a big deal.
Hey, did they close?
Size really doesn't matter in Texas if a 1/4 inch wrecks everything.
That's true, man.
You hear that, Chris?
This is about as big a deal as the Chicago Bears hiring Ben Johnson. I mean, I gotta tell you, this is probably the first time I think the Bears have actually gotten it right. To be honest with you,
we'll get in. We'll get into.
We're gonna get more into that. I
just
want to throw that little blurb out there.
Nah, you good?
I'm just confused at the fact that Jay really thinks a 1/4 inch of snow is something.
Hey, it is, Frankie. Not everybody listens to Frozen Tundra. Some of us live in the freaking oven, Frankie. So when the oven goes out and the freezer comes in, we don't know how to react.
If I was in
We're all
Texas,
discombobulated out here.
I lived in Texas.
It's a 1/4 inch of snow, and I'm putting snow chains on. Okay, leave me alone.
If I lived in Texas and I see a 1/4 inch of snow, I'm running out there with no shirt and shorts, probably boxers, and I'll be celebrating. Because I know for a fact it's still like 40 degrees over there, damn it.
Hold on. I'll tell you exactly what. Hey, while you talk to Gaza, I'll tell you exactly what the temperature is.
All right, go ahead. And of course, our father-son duo, Chris and Tony Gonzalez. What's up, guys?
Not a whole lot. Just trying to stay warm.
Yeah, just try to stay warm. It's colder than shit.
Hey, Chris, you doing better? You were out yesterday. We missed you.
Yeah, still not feeling great, but feeling a lot better than I did yesterday.
So this is his flu game.
I slept most of the day away yesterday.
Hey, so it is 38 degrees with a high of 39.
Hey, Jay, you got your beanie. You got the snow boots.
Hold on. But we got 11 miles an hour, so it feels like 31.
31? Hell, it's like a heat wave, dude. They got 31 here a couple of days ago, and everybody was outside in T-shirts like it was 70 because it's been 10 for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
last I checked with the wind chill was -13.
What, today? I know I was out earlier working, and I got outside. My eyes started watering, and it would freeze to your face instantly.
I saw that Barstool did a video. I forget who it was, and it's a guy who had long hair, right? He dipped his hair in some ice cold water, and then went outside, laid on a table for like 10 minutes, and froze his hair.
Oh Lord!
And it stick up.
Hey, but technically, we got 1.2 inches of rain. There you go. 1.2
of rain.
Or of snow. I apologize. Well, I'm not used to saying snow. So yeah, 1.2 inches of snow.
Look at that.
There you go.
Wow. All right.
It's not a 1/4 inch like I thought. It's 1.2. So suck it, Frankie.
All right. Well, let's get into it, guys. We know the end of college football is here. Final game of the season played last night between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Final score in that game: the Ohio State Buckeyes pull it out over Notre Dame. We looked like in the beginning it was going to be a bit of a blowout, but credit where credit is due to Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. They made a game out of it, but it was still a little too late. As you know, Notre Dame lost that game 23-34. Ohio State, Simon won the defensive MVP. Will Howard won offensive MVP, and Ryan Day shut up a lot of people. He won the big game finally. So let's go, Tony and Chris. What you guys think of the game? Did they get predictions to you about who would win, or no? Did we not get those?
No, I think we did actually.
Okay.
Go ahead and have them give it.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Tony, Chris, give y'all thoughts on the game last night and just kind of how it went.
I wasn't real surprised. I thought Ohio State was going to win the game. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a huge Notre Dame fan, even though they're in Indiana. I'm a Big Ten fan, so I was rooting for Ohio State. I'm an IU fan at heart, and and IU's the third best team in the country. The only two teams that beat us was Notre Dame and Ohio State. So I'm taking claim that IU's the third best team in the country.
Well, there we go. All right. Well, hey, well, Chris, do you share that sentiment?
Oh, I think we're the third best team too because of that. But I figured Ohio State would win the game. I just didn't think Notre Dame would be able to score enough points. But what the game really came down to is Notre Dame's defense could not get off the field at all. I mean, even when they got back in the game, they got within one score and then got them to 3rd and 11, have to make a stop, and you're going to have a chance to tie the game. And they hit that deep ball to, in my opinion, the best player in college football, and that's Smith. That dude's unbelievable as a true freshman. When the season started, he was 17 years old. He's just now 18, and, man, he's one of the best receivers I've seen play football, period, let alone just being the freshman in college.
And Frankie, I know you're gonna play. You're gonna want to debate that with who's the best wide receiver who was 17 in the country, right? With your guy out there at Alabama.
Yeah, definitely.
What'd you think of the game too?
Listen. I picked Alabama. Listen, you said Alabama. I was about to say I picked Alabama to win, but we weren't even in that shit. But listen, I picked Notre Dame to win that game. I expected, a little bit of a closer game. But the way the outcome of the game came is pretty much what I expected. I said Ohio State is going to come out. They're going to bully Notre Dame. Notre Dame needed to, at least get a couple points on the board. They only got 7. That didn't do it much in the first half with Ohio State scoring 31 to end the first half. But, man, when that second half started, it happened exactly the way I thought it was going to happen. Notre Dame was going to come out in the second half and score some points. But what ruined it is what Chris said. The defense didn't come out and show up for Notre Dame. Like they like Chris said, they could not get off the field, and Ohio State just kept punching the ball down the field on Notre Dame. What confuses me on the game, and we said it before we went live, and I wanted to bring it now live, so for the other viewers, because I want to get their aspect of it, is why would Notre Dame the entire game from start to finish, they go and literally for every 4th down, they're going for it. It doesn't matter if it's 4th and 3, 4th and 7. It didn't matter, right? Marcus Freeman was going for it on 4th down. But in the 4th quarter, with about 7 minutes left, and you're down 16 or 20 points or whatever like that, you decide to kick a field goal. Not only did you decide to kick a field goal, but your kicker, because he wasn't going out there to kick any points, or except for extra points, because you decided to go for the 4th down, he misses. He hit the crossbar and hit a doink and missed. That close. It was about like a 32-yard field goal attempt, and you missed. It's mind-blowing to me. You can't change a game like that. If you're going to keep going on 4th down for the whole game, you might as well finish it on going 4th down. What can go wrong, right? I mean, yeah, you could lose the game. That's it. You already did. But you might as well go for it and score 7. Don't score 3, especially when you're down by 20. Congratulations to Ohio State. Congratulations to Ryan Day finally. You finally got your national championship because you didn't go up against Alabama or you didn't go up against Georgia. You had to go up against Notre Dame to get it. So congratulations to you on your slicky ring that you're going to put on your finger. But don't be too happy, sir, because I'm pretty sure this is the last time we see Ryan Day in a national championship.
Okay. And Jay, what do you think, my friend? You talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, so that final score was 34-23. And so I do have the scores here. Logan, you were the closest to that score. You went 28-24 in favor of Ohio. So out of all of us, you got the closest to the actual score.
I got the winner, and I'll take that. Hey.
Yeah, Frankie and me both picked Notre Dame. Frankie said 27-24, like he said it was a close one he picked. And I picked 21-24, close one. So Yeah, so that's how that felt. So Logan, I think if out of all of us, you did the best. Congratulations. But I thought it was interesting. Notre Dame came out. They kicked Ohio in the face a little bit with that quick 7-point win or touchdown. The thing about that was interesting though was that Howard and Leonard were both running the hell out of the rock. It was a lot of quarterback design plays or sneaks, if you want to call it, that resulted in touchdowns for the quarterbacks. So they put a lot of weight on those quarterbacks. And I got to be honest with you, I thought both teams did well. I think that Notre Dame had a little bit tougher time stopping the pass and the run at times. And I think that's what led to Ohio getting those quick scores and whatnots. But ultimately, I thought it was cool, man. Notre Dame started off with the pointing. They kind of went to a lull in that second quarter. Third quarter, they woke up after halftime, decided they wanted to actually get back into the game. But it was just too much, too late for them to pull it off. But I do tip my hat to Ohio, okay? I don't like you. I hate you. And I hope you never get back there again. But congratulations. You do deserve the win. You didn't play Georgia, but Notre Dame did, and you beat the team that beat Georgia. So by default, by proxy, however you want to call it, you beat them. And I got to tell you, anybody out there, Ohio, I still hate you, but you do have permission to tell Frankie to shut the hell up because Bama was an afterthought. They never even got into the conversation.
And Bama could be Michigan.
Let that resonate for a minute. Frankie, I love you, but personally, I hate your team more than anybody in the whole wide world. I say high tide, low tide. I'll never say the other way.
That's fine. Where's Texas again with no horns, right?
Well, we were there. Where were you at? We were there. Where were you? Did
Where
you
were
even
you?
get to the conversation, Frankie?
Hold on.
No, seriously, no, Frankie. I want to ask you a question. Were you ever in the conversation?
You were there? You were there? It was Ohio State versus Notre Dame.
Yeah,
you were there?
I was there. I beat Arizona
what a
State,
joke.
to get into that point. And yeah, we were there, Frankie. Where were you, though, Frankie?
I think that's
they literally did not even allow you the opportunity to compete.
You want to know why? Because if they would have, we would have won.
Can't say that we weren't there.
Well, I don't think there was a SEC team even in the national championship game, was there?
No.
Nope.
Chris, we don't like you. This is between me and Frankie.
Here's the difference between what Jay's trying to do, and I'm pretty sure Logan remembers this.
What am I trying to do? I'm just stating the obvious. You weren't invited.
Can I talk?
Yes, you can talk
now.
Just don't spread no lies. Just don't spread no lies.
Once Nick Saban decided to retire, the Alabama head coach.
Okay, there you go. So Nick Saban.
Did I not say that last year? Did I not say that last year?
No, but you're telling me it was Nick Saban's fault.
No, I did not. No, I said once Nick Saban retired, I knew Alabama wasn't going to be as dominant as they normally would have. It takes a while to learn a new coach's play schemes and shit like that. It takes a while.
Well, then maybe next year you'll actually get invited and not just be a sideline attendant.
Maybe next year you'll actually win or actually get there.
Yeah, maybe I will. You know what? I got Arch Manning. Maybe I will. You're damn right.
Imagine if you guys were there. Imagine if you guys were
there. You guys are both playing for nothing because IU's going to win it all next year.
Oh, brother.
Every time somebody say Muhammad Ali, somebody got to say Cassius Clay.
That's like saying the Reds are going to get a National League championship.
Actually, I think the Reds are going to win the Central Division this year.
Oh, my God. The snow's getting...
See, that's how you know Chris is smoking crack. You don't believe that. You don't believe that.
Hold on.
Yes, I do. We got a real manager now.
Chris, you got to stop.
Okay, the manager's one thing.
Reds are going to be a playoff team this year, and I think we have a legit shot to win our division.
Win the division? You think they're going to win it from Milwaukee?
Who's in our division? The Brewers is the best team.
The Brewers.
We got a real manager now.
I think we got a good chance to win the division. I'm not saying we're going to win a World Series, but I think we got.
Yeah, I'm not saying we'll win the World Series. I think we'll have a chance to win our division and be in the playoffs.
Hey,
Chris, anything is possible.
I'm gonna say this to you right now. If you win the division, congratulations. But you don't got no damn real manager. Fuck Frank Holden. Fuck him.
Wait, he's a hell of a lot better than David Bell. I guarantee you that.
All right, so
I hate him. I hate that head coach. I hate that manager.
Why do you hate him, Frankie?
You know why I hate him, Tony. Don't you start this shit.
That's why we like him.
But look. So you think they're going to make the turn? Okay, so look, the Brewers won the Central last year, 93-69, and y'all went 77-85. You think you can get what almost a 15-game turnaround?
Yes,
I do.
we got a manager.
We
ain't got a moron.
We had a lot of we have a manager now. Plus, we had a lot of injuries last year to key players. I think if we stay healthy, and with the additions they made, I think we have a chance at that division.
Okay. Well, hey, we'll see.
I like how
hey, look, I'm not gonna knock the man if that's what he thinks. If that's what he
thinks.
No.
The thing too is that y'all got a pretty young team. So y'all got a very young team.
Back down. Chris, sit back down. Don't you do it. Don't do it, Chris. Don't you pull it out.
Oh no.
It's in long reaching distance. You can't reach it. See, sit back down.
I'm trying to fix my light. It just went out.
Hey, I'll tell you this much though, and there is a little bit of truth in this show today, and the truth I believe is that the Cincinnati Reds have 100% better chance at actually making the playoffs than Alabama has at even skirting the playoffs. So let that marinate
for next year.
That's a hot take right there. A hot take.
Hey. I got
seriously.
I got this.
I'm telling you, I really believe Alabama. Now that I think you were kind of right, but now they don't have the bedroom master and Nick Saban. Now you got
who?
I meant to say bedroom master.
He's got to drink his hand, Logan. He said the bedroom master.
Wait a minute. How the hell do you know what kind of bedroom? Wow.
He's been watching this commercial.
Having another Biden moment over there.
No, but for real, hey, I'm on your side. Y'all stick with me. I really do believe. I don't think Alabama and Frankie, you chime in all you want, but I don't think Alabama has what it takes. I really don't. I don't think you got what it takes to make the playoffs next year.
No, and I agree. And I said this dating back to last year. It takes a while for players and stuff to learn a new head coach's thing, right? And not only did at the time Nick Saban retire, but Alabama, because of the transfer protocol, a bunch of their star players at the time ended up going to different schools.
Right.
Now going into next year, you're not going to have the quarterback in Jalen Milroe because he's already entering in the NFL draft.
Right.
So he's going to take over quarterback. That now has to come in and learn this head coach's plays and the offensive coordinator's plays and stuff like that. It's going to take a while for Alabama, but it's okay. Alabama's fine.
I'm not a SEC fan at all, but I do think Alabama will be better next year than what they were this year. And you give them a couple of years, they're going to be good. They got a good coach.
Yeah,
that coach is good.
Yeah.
He's just walking into a situation where you're replacing
Frankie,
best college coach of all time.
Frankie, you went from the mansion master to the townhome master. You know,
not even a townhome master. I'm pretty sure we went from a mansion master to a goddamn studio master.
Not the studio.
You got a
studio.
Apartment.
Hey, I think DeBoer's a good coach. Look what he built in Washington.
It wasn't. Look, let's be real.
Now with what he'll be able to recruit to Alabama, I think he'll build that program.
And he did better than Saban's first season as head coach. Right, first season. This wasn't even his guys.
Yeah.
So he's got to get some time. He's got to get the team he wants for his system. And I think this year obviously is going to be like the first true year with Caleb Boyd. But look, I know they didn't make the playoffs and whatnot. They had some tough losses. I think the loss to Vanderbilt was probably the worst one of the year. But
yeah,
I got one question for you guys real quick.
Go ahead.
Goes back to Notre Dame. How the hell do you lose to a MAC team?
In Northern Illinois?
Yeah, that Ball State, who is in the city I live in, beat, and they lost. They lost like 6 games in the MAC, so they weren't even a good MAC team. How do you lose that and then beat all these other teams?
And then you make it. Yeah, you make it to a national championship.
They got tired.
I guess so, or they weren't focused. That was like week 2, right?
Yeah, it was like their second game of the season.
Yeah, it was early in the year, so they probably just were. Honestly, Chris, they probably weren't prepped. They probably didn't prep enough. They probably said, "We'll beat them up."
You also got to think that there's time. Ohio State has been in this situation before, going to the national championship, winning or losing. They've been to this situation. Yeah. Notre Dame, I don't think we've seen. Well, we haven't seen. Notre Dame hasn't been in this situation in how long?
Well, 2010, 14?
Yeah, 2010. With Manti Te'o, right? That was like 2012.
So I think around 12 or 14. I think the last time they made it.
Yeah,
this far.
Well, yeah, because 14 was when Ohio State won it.
You got to think these young kids got butterflies in their stomach. You know, they're in the big stadium of Atlanta. You know, they're in the national championship. So much was, building up inside of them. They had a little bit of nervous wreck in them. That's why they came out a little bit on fire for Notre Dame. But I feel like they just had it too much in their heads compared to Ohio State, where they're like, listen, we're Ohio State. We know what we got to do. Ryan Day knows what he has to do. Not only Ryan Day, but Chip Kelly as well. Chip Kelly's been in this situation too. So, I mean, having all those coaches and, at least telling their players, listen, this is a national championship. Calm your emotions. Hold your emotions off. Go out there and play some football. Compared to Notre Dame, they couldn't hold their emotions. They're in the national championship. This is like, this is what you dreamt of. But it just got too much to them.
Go ahead. I was going to say one thing that hurt Notre Dame that nobody's talking about either. They lost two of their key starting offensive linemen in the semifinal game. So, I mean, Notre Dame wasn't going into this game healthy either.
Fully healthy. Well, Ohio State also, granted, they had issues on the line earlier in the season with injuries, but they had more time to gel and to get better with that. But just kind of looking at that game, I thought that throughout the entire playoffs that Will Howard was the MVP of the playoffs with how he played. He looked good during the regular season, but, I mean, he really, I think, elevated his draft stock.
Why do you think nobody's talking about him as one of the top QBs to go out? He's, to me, he played as good as anybody.
Great, yeah. Year. I mean, obviously, he didn't have the numbers per se as he did in previous games, but he did well enough, obviously, to help win a championship.
Well, he
went 17 to 21, 231, 2 touchdowns, and like I believe Jay said earlier, he ran the ball 16 times for 57 yards, which I think was a season high.
And he completed like his first 13 passes.
Yeah, I mean, he was dialed in, and I think that, and I told Jay the other day, I said, if he plays like he did in the other games, they're going to win this game. Because let's not forget, in the previous matchup, Jeremiah Smith was pretty much shut out. He was a non-factor. He was double-teamed. Yeah. And they still got the win with their other, very talented receivers, obviously. Another one, too, who I think people could argue should have won the offensive MVP was Quinshon Judkins. 100 yards on the day, 11 carries with 3 touchdowns. Yeah. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, obviously. Big factor. I mean, 21 points of the team's 34 is huge. Yeah. He was a big reason for their dominance. I thought the defenses were going to be a little bit more kind of tighter than we thought, right? But it's a big game. Anything can happen. Breakdowns are going to happen. But for me, I think that with Notre Dame, what killed them was their running game. They didn't have one. Ohio State shut them down, basically. 26 carries as a team for only 53 yards. They couldn't do anything. And they became one-dimensional, and Riley Leonard is a good quarterback, but he can't beat you through the air. That kind of showed it that – and look, he had a good game, right? 255, 2 touchdowns, kept it clean, but he doesn't have that, throw for 300 and those giant plays, right? We saw, obviously, that first play, that first drive where they took it down the field and however many plays. It was a long drive, and that's how they got in. But they don't have that explosiveness through the air, at least not as consistently as Ohio State did.
Yeah, I think Judkins was definitely the MVP of the game.
For that game.
Yeah, you can put Howard right behind him at number 2 spot for that. But yeah, when you're running the ball that well, over 100 yards and a touch, or 2 touch, and then you get the 21 yards receiving and a touch. I mean, come on, man, that's way more than. I mean, where would they have been without Judkins? You know what I'm saying? Not that Howard, you can't take away from, but I think Judkins was absolutely the key guy for that team.
Yeah, and my final thought just on the game and whatnot and what happened is going back to Notre Dame, a bright spot for them. He's a sophomore, so he has probably one more year, and that's Jaden Greathouse, the wide receiver. What a great past 2 games he's had. Jay, out of Austin, Texas. There you go.
Yeah.
This past game, as we know, in the national championship, 6 catches for 128, 2 touchdowns, and then the semis against Penn State, 7 catches, 105, and 1 touchdown. I mean,
and the last touchdown catch he made was with a guy draped all over him.
It was a tough. Yeah. So I mean, if it wasn't for Greathouse and how well he did over the last 2 games, I don't know if Notre Dame, would have been nearly as close to winning against Penn State, obviously, and then against Ohio State in last night's performance. But I mean, he really made a name for himself, and is going to be a great receiver. It looks like for a long time. We got some comments here. Let's see, Billy. What's up, Billy? He said, "Good afternoon." He said the Ohio State walked all over the Irish. I didn't. I mean, outside of that second quarter, it was bad.
Yeah.
But I felt that, and I mean, in points wise, Notre Dame outscored Ohio State in the second half by 3 points. It was 16-13 total. So I felt like they made some good adjustments at halftime. Notre Dame did, but it was just too little, too late. If they would have limited that second quarter to hell, even 14 points, that would have been just a little bit more manageable to maybe come back from. But it's the small things, right? That win you football games and that can lose you football games.
You know what pisses me more off about that game, guys? Not one team got 24 points. We just wanted one.
We all said 24.
That's all we wanted.
We were close.
Each and every one of us said someone's going to have 24.
We were so close.
Notre Dame had 23, and at a time, Ohio State had 24. They couldn't just win by 20. Like,
y'all could have just kneeled out and
Yeah, Notre Dame's path to win that game was to be able to run the ball, and then their defense, which had been great all year, hold up. And neither one of those things happened last night for Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's true. And then we saw after the just it was funny because no one got hurt, but we saw all the Ohio State players on the golf cart back in the hallway, and the poor woman driving the golf cart broke the axle on it. She didn't turn it too much and hit the wall. It just.
I wonder if the wall broke the axle or just having all that weight from all them football players broke that axle when it hit the wall.
That force of them moving forward, all like how many of them were there.
That was incredible.
But that was a funny moment, though. I got
a question, guys. Do you think both these teams, Notre Dame and Ohio State, are both playoff teams next year?
Ohio State, I think so. Also, I forgot to mention, Ohio State, I think, became the first team to ever beat top five teams in a season, which – that is insane. That tells you how good they were.
I think they'll both.
I think they will. I think Notre Dame will get in somehow. Because they're not in a conference, so they don't have to. They're going to win their conference in the independent. And they'll probably have a good roster to beat whoever they're going to face.
Fuck Ohio State.
I think Notre Dame. They have pretty young teams. As well.
Obviously, Leonard's going to be gone.
Ohio State, I know they got to get a new quarterback.
I saw that. I actually believe. Let me check ESPN here. I believe it said one of their quarterbacks have already.
Yeah, they signed.
Brown. So Ohio State backup Devin Brown. He signed with the California Bears, so he's already moving on.
Yeah, but Ohio State signed a top recruit. I can't remember who it was. That was supposed to be their quarterback.
You know what the crazy thing too is with Ohio State? No one knew how they were going to do because their starter last year, Kyle McCord, left for Syracuse.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you think he's kicking himself right now? Saying, damn, that could have been me. That could have been me.
Well, I think Ohio State kind of pushed him out. I don't think it was all his choice
to leave.
Yeah, I think they kind of pushed him out because they wanted to bring in Howard. From the way I've heard AJ Hawk talk about it. But, it sounds like they kind of pushed him out.
It proved him right. I mean, hell, it was a gamble and it paid off. So it works. But I know we were talking beforehand. We'll touch on it here. Jay, you mentioned that the Big 12 have won back-to-back championship, or the Big 10 rather.
Big 10,
in Ohio State and in Michigan, who won it last year. And you think that there's a little power shift going on here because we know, in years past, Georgia's won a lot, Alabama's won a few, so on and so forth. But do you think it's time for a new conference to be the powerhouse or not yet?
I personally think that they're not there yet, but I definitely believe that they have got a good head start to developing a culture of winning in these schools, and I think the more that, especially since now they got back-to-back championships, you can't tell me that doesn't affect at least a little bit on the recruiting side. That these kids aren't taking Ohio and Michigan and Penn and start to look at them more in a different kind of light than what they were this time or last time around. I mean, Penn State was there, Ohio was there, out of the Big Ten and stuff, and other schools. I mean, I definitely think
don't forget the other Big Ten team that was there.
Everyone does.
Say our name.
Oh, my bad.
Hoosiers.
No, he don't know.
Hey, I'm sorry. You're right, Indiana. But it's true. Gonzo's not lying, and he's laughing because he couldn't believe they actually got there. But they got there.
I'm not gonna lie. If you told me at the beginning of the season IU was going to be in the football playoffs, I'd have laughed at you. And I've been an IU fan forever, but we haven't been good in football since I've been alive.
We was hoping what? 8 wins.
Yeah,
we was hoping 8 wins. First season.
But I will say this:
first season for the coach.
And you can ask him. I did think that Cignetti was going to make us competitive, but I'm not going. I didn't think it was going to be like this. But I thought Cignetti was a good coach when we hired him. I told you, I love the coach now. He'll make us competitive. But I never thought it was going to be the turnaround like we had.
I think the longer that coach stays there, the more he keeps implementing that program. That I think eventually you'll be a little bit more than what you were even this time around. So I got to give him a little bit of time on the recruiting side of life. But look, Georgia got beat by Notre Dame, right? Bama wasn't even in there. So those are big SEC guys, and they weren't even there. I mean, Texas was there, and a few other teams were there, but you got to start taking this team seriously. Hell, Arizona State was there.
in the Pac-12.
But definitely the Big Ten. You can start to see a shift, and this is just, I think, another indication of the NIL and transfer portal reshaping the landscape of football. And I don't think SEC can command as much now that everybody else has NIL money, and now there's a transfer portal. People are trying to make a name for themselves. So it doesn't surprise me at all that the Big Ten is making a push on the SEC for sure.
I think in terms of recruiting, I still think the SEC will have the advantage. I think, just because obviously campus size, there's a million factors, right? But I think that they'll still have an advantage in early recruiting, just because they've been stockpiling rosters for God knows how long, and also too the SEC is still the leading conference in terms of players, how many players get drafted. Right.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So,
correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Oregon now in the Big Ten? Oregon's in the Big Ten along with USC, correct?
Yep. They moved away from the Pac-12 last year.
Washington too, right? Washington, UCLA.
Washington. Yeah, I think the Pac-12. Well, I know that they've recently reshuffled some teams now. And the Pac-12 had 2 teams in it technically this year. Right. Which is just it's a shame that even happened, but I'm glad they're adding some more programs there. They added some teams from the MAC and some other smaller conferences in there. So I'm glad they're doing that. But I think that, for now, I think that I think those are the top 2, right? I think those are the top 2 conferences in the league with the SEC and the Big Ten. But we'll just, we'll see how it goes. The season's over. Sad to see it leave, but it was a great, just initial thoughts. Did you enjoy the 12-team playoff more than you thought going into it now that it's over? Yeah. We'll go with Frankie.
Yeah, I definitely did. I liked it. Not only did it made college football season a little longer, but you get other teams opportunities to get in there, not just between 4 teams or whatever. I liked it. I think it's going to work well, and I can't wait to see it next season, man. I'm really excited for the top 12.
Jay, what about you? Starting off a little bit shaky with the opening round, and it was a bunch of blowouts, but the games got better and better, I think.
Yeah, first of all, I was going to say hi to Mickey Delaney. Mickey,
oh my God,
God, brother!
It's been forever. What's going on, man?
But no, what do I think about it, man? Look, here's the thing, right? You had number 7 versus number 8 in the national title.
Yeah,
that is a good indication of why I think we needed to go beyond the 4 teams. Me personally, I think I would have done 8. I think 8 is about as far as I would have went, and I think we saw that 7 versus 8, but. I will tell you, regardless if you're going to go 8 or you're going to go 12, it's good to see that we're adding more than just the top 4, just your conference champions. Because even though Georgia was a conference champion, they still got knocked out by Notre Dame.
All of them did. All 4 of them.
All of them did. So that just kind of tells you that the NIL, we've had it wrong forever when we've had the conference champions being the representatives, because that's not the true indication of who's the best.
This season proved that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good.
Ohio State,
and it changed my viewpoint on it.
What was Ohio State? They were 8th, right? They were the 8th.
Yes, they were. No, they were 7. I think Notre Dame was 8.
Still 7 or 8. Both 7 and 8 was in the Natty, and that's 7-1.
And they each had a loss or multiple losses in Ohio State's case.
That's what makes it great to have a 12-team format, because not the top 4 is going to be automatic. Because like Jay said, the top 4 got eliminated all in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you could technically say second because the first, they had a bye week, but still, their first go around, they all lose.
Yeah.
And we all thought that Oregon was going to be in it or something, or Georgia, even Texas. Like Texas was playing the ass off this year. So I mean,
and hell, Arizona State gave them a really good run for their money.
Yeah, they did.
Boise State as well. I mean, like you have all teams that look really well that normally never has a chance in this playoffs, right? Let's be real.
Mm-hmm. It was a good mix.
So, I mean,
how would you guys?
And just for clarification, Notre Dame was 7 and Ohio was 8.
Okay.
Right.
How would you guys feel about a 16-team playoff? No bye.
I like that too. They should.
Because it don't extend it.
I know it's going to extend it even more, but when you
really don't, because you had teams setting out, so you really wouldn't have to extend it.
Yeah, if you're gonna give nobody no buys,
you don't get nobody.
It'd be the same amount of weeks.
Same
it
amount
would be. They'd all be on even schedule. I don't know. The 16. I mean, who else would you add in there? Other conference champions from around?
I mean, they're already talking about
the MEACs.
They're already talking about moving it.
Alabama would have made it in that case.
They're already talking about moving it to 14. I know that.
Well, hell, man, once you might as well just
at that point, just keep going. Just keep adding, though.
I mean, really look at it.
I mean,
even Miami would have made it, and we all know.
Yeah, Miami would have. Yeah.
Miami would have been in there.
Yeah, Alabama would have made it. Miami would have made it.
I know.
I mean, hell, and if you add it even further, I mean, if you add it to 16, I mean, what's the point of even doing a top 25 anymore at that point?
I think it's either next year or the year after. They've already announced they're going to go to 14.
We'll go to 14 and then go 16.
And then they said
I'm not in favor of.
And then they said when the new TV deal in like 4 years come out that they think they'll probably go to 16.
The only reason they're doing, the only reason I can see them going to 14 or 16 or whatever teams you want to put in there is money. Right now, they're trying to capture all that money.
So I got an article here. So it's still on the table. This is an article written in December of 24. So it's saying the 14-team playoff expansion for 2026 is still on the table. Nothing's been confirmed as of yet, but it could bump up two more slots.
But as far as this year's playoffs, I thought it was great.
I thought this was a good mix this year. I thought 12 was a good mix.
I think there does need to be a few changes made to it, like in the seeding. I don't think if you're a conference champion that you should automatically get a bye and be a top 4 seed like they did this year. Because like Arizona State shouldn't have been a top 4 seed. We shouldn't have been seeing Ohio State and Oregon playing 7 and 8, in the quarterfinals. Things like that I think could be worked out. But the thing I did like about it is in the old system, Ohio State or Notre Dame, neither one of them would have been playing for a national championship last night. Because when as soon as Notre Dame lost to NIU, their season would have basically been over. They would have had no shot.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Ohio State losing with their 2 losses they had. Even one of them was the Oregon by 1 point. That was the number 1 seed, but then losing to Michigan, they wouldn't have been in there. So I do like that because, hey, like we had said earlier, the Notre Dame loss was early in the season. Teams aren't the same in September and October as they are in
sometimes you just
have
a bad game, so I hate to. In the old system, if you have a bad game, you're just screwed. But in the new system, now that you have a playoff format, you can recover from that 1 loss, 2 loss, even almost 3 losses.
But I do also agree. I don't think they should go to more than 12 teams myself.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Gonzo. I think you get 12, that's too much. Or you get beyond 12.
You look what they're doing to the college basketball. They're talking about making it to like 100 teams. I mean,
oh, jeez. No. At that point, what's the point of even watching the season?
That's not playing a double
season. I mean, hell, no, not many people even watch the regular season anyways, unless you're a diehard. Yeah. I mean, and also, too, talking about basketball here, we'll switch over to this comment. Gonzo, you got a question. Who in football is the Bobby Knight of coaching? Is there anyone?
There was somebody who reminded me of this year with the way they acted, and that was Cinetti.
Yeah, Cignetti a little bit.
If you've ever seen any interviews with Cinetti, he definitely gave me those vibes of Bobby Knight.
Okay.
Who in football is the Bobby Knight of coaching? Is there anyone? Wow. Bill Belichick, damn it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good comparison too, because they both ran their shit like military.
What about Alabama's coach?
Saban would be a good comparison too. He didn't get as fired up maybe as Bob Knight did on the sidelines.
What about Pop? You think you? That's football. Never mind. Oh well.
I love that new Nick Saban commercial where Nick Saban is like, "Hey, if you want to stay here, you only get 5-minute showers."
Oh yeah,
yeah. No fun, no games.
All right, hey, let's switch it over to basketball though. You mentioned Bobby Knight, Billy. We'll talk some basketball here. First off, I just want to get y'all's initial reaction to this because the initial topic we're going to talk about is the Warriors getting absolutely beat up last night. But I came across this. I just want to get y'all's opinion. The NBA dunk contest, the slam dunk contest, it's cooked, right? Can we agree it's done for? There's no hype around it. They announced it, and to steal a Southern phrase of bless your heart, 2 rookies, Stephon Castle and Matas Buzelis of the Chicago Bulls have agreed to participate in the slam dunk contest. Oh boy. Yeah, that's
No, it's bad when you got a quiet panel.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't know who these 2 guys were. I don't know who these 2 guys were before this.
I don't know who either one of them are.
They're both rookies. One of them was drafted Castle was drafted number 4 overall. So
why is things went so far down?
The slam dunk, to me, the slam dunk contest got ruined when about, 14, 15 years ago when all the stars quit doing it.
But why
none of the main stars were doing it.
Let me just say this. The last good one was the 2016 with Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, when they were doing all that stuff. I think that was the last good one. That was almost 10 years ago.
Why don't the stars want to do it anymore? Anybody got a take on that?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I do. They don't even want to play a regular season.
There's no incentive for it.
Why the hell they want to do something extra?
There's no incentive.
You get these guys to play the regular season. What makes you think? Oh yeah, I'll sign up to do something extra.
We already got load management.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's frustrating as a fan. How many NBA games have you watched this year?
I ain't watched one full game.
I probably watched maybe
one full game.
I think I maybe watched 5 full games. I watch some of the Pacers and I try to keep track of it.
And I keep track.
But it's hard to sit down and watch a whole game. And I agree with Logan though that I haven't watched a slam dunk contest in years.
Also, too, look, this is going to be look, they're just throwing something at a wall and see what sticks, right? Just with the All-Star format. Look, in recent years, right? They stole the Sonics. Yeah. Look, in recent years, also Dominique Wilkins should have won that one, but in recent years, they have just been the 3-point contest has been kind of the highlight of the All-Star weekend because that's the hot new trending thing in the NBA. So everyone's chucking up threes. But let's not forget, this is a new All-Star format this year. It's not just one game. It's it's a mini tournament. 4 teams play 3 games.
Yeah, Lord.
So for each game, the winner will be the first team to get over 40 points. I mean, I
don't know what's worse. What's worse? Having flag football and NFL All-Star or having the NBA All-Star going looking like this? I mean,
at least the NBA is still having games. At least they're still.
All of a sudden, MLB has come on top of having the best All-Star weekend.
And they haven't even done anything with theirs. Theirs is just.
I know you guys don't care about, but I think NHL is better than the other. Baseball.
I don't know what the NHL's is. I'm not going to lie.
NHL does some skill stuff, and they have games too. I'd prefer the NHL over the NBA or football.
Am I wrong, or did a couple of years ago did the MLB stop doing home field advantage in the All-Star game?
Yeah, they took that away a few years
ago. And see, that's what I think dampened it for me, because that made it feel big. Is if you represent your league, you get to help your team out, maybe.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't take that away, because it means something for the players to try a little bit harder. You know what I mean?
For sure.
At least for Major League Baseball. But look,
all the All-Star games have gone kind of left, right? Football.
In terms of the game, you look more. You look more at the other games now, right? For the MLB, what's the best thing they got? The home run derby, right?
Right.
For the NBA, it's going to be the 3-point contest. Because the slam dunk contest, it's okay, but it's not what it was.
Yeah, you had a G League player win it the last couple of years.
Oh my God, you're right. They had the G League players. I forgot about that.
I'm not gonna. I kind of like the celebrities All Stars rather than watching the actual like.
You know how sad that is.
Yeah,
you'd rather watch celebrities.
I would rather
play basketball than the stars.
I would rather sit there and watch JoJo Siwa hit a softball than see someone.
He said the MLB is moving to a wiffle ball. That might be next.
That is kind of funny.
We'll talk more about the NFL and the Pro Bowl once we get closer to that.
If MLB makes a change, what they'll do, they'll have their all-star team play against the Savannah Bananas.
I'm going to see them in March, by the way.
That would be.
You're gonna waste your money.
Hey, if they come around here, if they come around here again, I'm gonna go. I'll go watch it.
It's such a waste of money.
Did you go see him, Jay?
Man, I lived right next door to them for years and watched them before they went stupid on me, and then they
what do you mean went
into
stupid on you?
No, they
That's
used
like
to
them
be
Harlem
like
Globetrotters.
They're the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Dude. What do you expect it to be?
They're like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Jay says, "I don't want to watch it. Someone don't get hit in the ribs."
That's amazing. I love the Savannah Bananas.
Ain't no Nolan Ryans on that team. I tell you that much.
Hey, if they come back around here, I'd like to watch them. But like Dad said, they were here. They were here earlier this year.
Hey, all I know one thing,
man, sold out like that.
If you have to get a lottery to even buy tickets, that you doing something right. You're doing something right.
Look, you name me someone who can walk on sticks.
I understand what you're saying, but
you name me someone who can walk on sticks and still get a base hit and run on base with sticks.
So
man,
what?
I remember
What's your issue?
On stilts.
What's your issue with him, Jay?
The Bananas used to walk around on stilts, and he had that little yellow suit that he wears with the little top hat. Oh yeah, I remember that guy. I mean, I was there when it started. I just couldn't get into it. I liked it when they used to be part of the college baseball league, and they actually had college players that played for the Savannah Bananas. And then all of that went away, and they started bringing all these crazy people in to play for the Bananas, and then that just kind of went left, and it's like whatever. But you used to be able to see the Bananas for $5. You can go and see them.
$5?
Yeah, $5. 1, 2.
That was when they just started.
Ain't gonna see them for $5 no more.
Hey, not.
I don't even know how much it is now, but I would.
Yeah.
Like Billy says, tickets are big bucks to go watch.
Everywhere around the world.
They're on a stadium tour now. I'm watching them play at Truist Park where the Braves play.
And the funny thing about it is the baseball stadium, Grayson Stadium is where they came out of. And that baseball stadium had a lot of big-time players. Lou Gehrig, John Smoltz. I think the Babe even kind of went through there. There's a lot of different level. I think Chipper Jones went through there and a few other guys that played baseball that went through that stadium. I mean, that stadium has had some very – because that stadium's been around since like the 1920s. I mean, it's been
it's an old stadium.
Yeah, one thing that sucks to go to what Billy just said about tickets are big bucks is they got these tickets so overpriced now that an average fan can't even hardly go watch a game. Like I was going to get a ticket for the Indiana Notre Dame playoff game this year. That was at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
the cheapest ticket that you could get was $1,000.
You got to set your arm and leg
just to get in the building.
Well, that's what I told you.
I'm watching it from home.
Yeah, but they got so overpriced. Like the average guy can't even go.
Hey, look. Here's what you need to do. If you live close enough, go support your local minor league team, local college team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're at a major college, ain't much you can do.
But that was a college game.
No. I'm saying like
it's a major college game.
Yeah, because I know you said, Chris, that you're right near Ball State.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ball State.
I'm about to say,
go
say that
or cheap. Hey, you know what you do, Logan? You wait until everybody's gone in. You find that one little weak kid that's getting ready to go in. You beat him up. And you take his tickets and you go see the game.
The actions of Jay McLovin do not condone.
How much was a Royal Rumble ticket? $200 a piece.
Over $200
for the Rumble.
I think we paid like $270 to get in the Rumble, and that's sitting up. And we're sitting up.
Yeah, in the nosebleeds.
Yep.
And with what Jay just said, he just been banned from every local baseball,
hey.
football.
Every picture's
comments.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I'm about to say the comments.
Hey, anything to get a like and a subscribe, Jay McLovin.
I don't know if that's what we want to go for, but all right.
Okay, you're right. And Jay McLovin's opinions do not represent that of the panel.
I mean, Jerry Jones might love it. He'd probably be like, "Listen, this man will do anything to come see us." Anything.
I gotta throw the disclaimer out there.
Jay gonna be like that Chiefs fan that was putting on the wolf mask.
Chiefsaholic.
Yep.
Hey, you got a documentary about him.
No. Hey, look, I'm not going that far, but
you're not Robin Banks.
now we're talking felonies. I was just talking about a misdemeanor.
Hey,
no, but
you gotta do what you gotta do.
But don't go what Logan said. Like we go to Indianapolis Indians games around here, Fort Wayne Tin Cap minor league baseball, and you can go there
$10. Yeah.
Yep.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Robert coming in saying he says he goes to the Tacoma Rainer games all the time. AAA team. More fun to watch than the MLB team, unless it's a Houston and Mariners game. Then we go to Boo Houston.
I don't know Robert, but I like Robert just because he's booing Houston.
Oh man! All right, we'll talk about this one here.
Years later, we're still dealing with 2017.
I know.
Hey, it is almost okay. Hey, speaking of that, they're voting in for the MLB Hall of Fame. Is your boy Beltran going to get in, or is that going to help keep him out?
Oh man, you know what? That's a good question. I don't think it should be keeping him out. I don't, man.
I think he should be kept out. They kept my boy out for life. They should keep him out for life.
Hey, Chris said I'm a generational hater right here.
Hey, look, I'm a Pete Rose guy too. Okay, I feel you. I feel you, man. I love to see Pete Rose. I wish he would have got in before they passed away. I really do, man. But.
So I think that they're announcing.
Hey, some of that was Pete's fault because Pete was kind of a butthead. So
they're announcing those tonight, aren't they?
More honey on that, he might have got in.
They're announcing the inductees tonight. Am I correct in that?
Yes. Yeah, tonight.
So
all I know is my boy CC Sabathia better get in.
CC, I think will make it. He got 3,000 strikeouts. It was just a damn good pitcher.
Stacey will make it.
He'll make it. I don't have any doubt that.
And he has a World Series ring too. So I mean,
I'm see if I can get a list here. It's a lot of good names on it, to be honest. This is a good class of guys who could get in. I know Billy Wagner.
He needs to get in. If Billy don't get in, I'm gonna be really freaking pissed because that dude deserves to be in.
I know one guy who's getting in. That's the outfielder for the Mariners and former Yankee Ichiro.
Oh,
he better get in.
Yeah,
he's a first ballot. Yeah, he's a lock for sure. I think Wagner will make it. The tough one though, and I'm looking here. We mentioned Beltran. What about Andrew Jones? That's a tough one. Because Andrew was God, he was great with Atlanta. But then he just got hurt. He got hurt.
Is this his first time on the ballot?
Nah, I think he's been there for a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie, and it's kind of weird for me to say this. You guys could disagree or agree, but I honestly think Dustin Pedroia belongs in it.
Okay.
I know he's on the list. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as well.
So we got Robert said Pete could not keep his mouth shut. They will let him know. Oh, they'll let him in now that he's dead. That would be cruel.
Yeah,
I've said that forever that they'll wait till he dies to let him in.
Yeah, and Ichiro is first.
If I'm Pete Rose's family, I wouldn't let him do it.
Hey, and also Robert, if they don't get him in the first try, that's a travesty. That's a travesty. Some other guys on the list probably not going to make it. Chase Utley, damn good player, but I don't think he's Hall of Fame worthy personally. He'll go if he's not, he'll be the Phillies. He'll get his probably number retired. Honestly, I thought he was a good player. Manny Ramirez, as much of damn good of a hitter as he was, he's tied to the steroids, so he's probably not going to make it. Andy Pettit, also,
my boy.
Also tied to steroids.
I do think Andy Pettit should be in there. Now he's a Houston boy. Andy Pettit is.
Yeah, but he was linked to those steroids though, man. That's going to kill him.
Hey, shut your mouth.
Why does David Ortiz don't get the heat for being linked to that stuff as all these other guys do?
I don't know, Chris. I don't know.
That is a good point, though.
He was popped in Minnesota.
Because they just kind of brush that under the rug, but then they want to hold it against these other guys around that same era.
You know what, though? I wonder if it just has to do with, and again, I don't think this is correct, but I wonder if it has to do with his popularity. Like, he was a very...
I think it's because he's a likable guy.
Yeah.
I
think that gets them in.
Hey, and Frankie,
I know
you can agree. You can agree on this comment. Classic Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, right? Every media person in the world hated Alex Rodriguez when he played. He didn't do himself any favors. But before he was traded to Boston, no one knew who David Ortiz was. But he got traded. He got all those clutch hits, so on and so forth, and then he has that likable personality, right?
Yeah.
So,
he's a likable guy.
He says, is Pettit more Houston or Yankees? Y'all can fight about that one.
He's more Yankees.
He's definitely a Yankees.
I think he's more Yankees.
No, he is a Yankees pitcher. When I said Houston he's from Deer Park, which is a suburb of Houston. He is a Houston boy, but he played for the Yankees. And he did come home, and he did play a season or two with the Astros. But if you're talking where he is baseball-wise, he is a Yankee. But
when I think of Pettit, I think of the Yankees.
He's still a Houston boy, man.
So one more player I want to bring up, and then we'll go back to that Warrior story. Felix Hernandez. What do we think?
Ooh.
Tough call. Tough call.
I would say no.
I think he's probably one of the best Mariners pitchers of all time. No doubt about that.
How many years do you stay on the ballot in MLB? And then like 10?
You stay on there forever. You stay on there for a long time.
I think it's like 10, 15 years or something.
Yeah, you only got.
I want to say 10, guys. I think 10 is resonating with me for some reason. I think I read that.
Like 10 years after your first ballot.
Hey, Billy said y'all ever hear why Big Papi got shot? He's got the scoop. He's got the inside scoop.
Oh no, I didn't, Billy. Hey, go ahead and put out the scoop.
Yeah, let us know, man. And then Robert saying he said Payrod. He said he's more hated in Seattle than Houston. I don't think Texas likes him either with the Rangers. I don't think they like him much either.
Oh, wouldn't stop. Okay, that's interesting.
Let's see. He wouldn't stop messing around with a drug lord's wife or girlfriend. Okay, interesting. Robert says he says Felix is a Hall of Famer. He's just on horrible teams. Oh God, he was. Did the Mariners even make the playoffs with him on the team? I don't think if they did, maybe a wild card game. Easy 20-game winner on good team in his prime. I mean, there's no doubt you could say he was the best pitcher for a stretch of years during his prime.
Seattle's always had a rough go of it, man.
Nah, I don't think. Yeah, I think Ichiro will be the only Mariner getting in this year. I think so. Felix might if he sticks around long enough, right? This is probably his first or second, early on the ballot. I know that much because he only retired a couple of years ago. So a lot of good names.
I think he gets it, but I don't think it's going to be this.
Yeah, he might have to wait a couple of years. He might have to wait a couple of years.
Yeah,
but it's a good class though, and we'll talk about who.
I'll say right now though, I promise you, Logan, if Wagner doesn't get a Hall of Fame,
I think he deserves it,
bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude was so dominant for so long for so many teams. It's ridiculous.
You said George Scott. All right. Let's go back to this because we talked about beforehand. Worst loss in the Warriors' 40-year history. They lose to the defending champ Boston Celtics. Final score in this game, Boston 125, Golden State 85. The leading scorer for Golden State was Steph Curry. He put up a whopping 18 points on 6 of 16 shooting on the night. Some other lowlights for this game include Andrew Wiggins going 1 of 11 from the field. Golden State shooting 26% from the three-point line, which is only 14 made out of 53 attempts. Wow. And they shot 34% as a team, hitting only 32 of 92 shots.
Oh my God.
So they just could not buy a bucket. Only 2 players scored in double figures for the whole night. Curry being one with 18, as I mentioned, and Moses Moody putting up 13 points in 32 minutes.
Don't forget the rebounds too. With Celtics having 50, and then Golden State only.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. They
got 12 more rebounds than them. Assist wise, 33 for Boston, 28 for Golden State. Not too much of a disparity there.
What's the turnovers?
Turnovers. Golden State had 12, and Boston had 9.
But hey, Logan, talking about the points in the paint, because that's a big one too, man. I mean, they were just getting dominated in every category.
Yeah, let me flip over to the team stats here.
Can you really blame Golden State? I mean, they're not a team. They're not the team that they were back then. They're really not.
And to what Jay said, points in the paint. Boston had 52 compared to only 26 of Golden State.
They had no down low presence. They had no perimeter shooting. They had no regular shooting. They had no defense. And Golden State had more fouls. I think at 12 versus 8 for Golden State. I mean, they just couldn't. They couldn't win at any facet of the game. They were getting blown up by every single.
No, they just couldn't stop them.
It wasn't even close. The score doesn't even be a true indicator of how far away that game was.
Yeah, it's the Warriors currently sit 21-21 on the season. Boston They improved to 30-13. Looking at the standings, Boston, they're still number 2 in the East behind Cleveland, 6.5 back of the first seed. Meanwhile, for the Golden State Warriors, they are out of the play-in, which remember, there's 10 teams that can get in that now. They sit behind the Phoenix Suns. They have identical records. So,
wow.
And yeah, just yeah. The Western Conference, it's a crapshoot, man. There's a lot of teams that you can easily move. Like Frankie, so the Yankees are 22, or the Lakers are 22-18 on the season. But I mean, they could easily move up. What? The Rockets are 28-14. That's only a 6-game difference. It ain't like there's a large gap.
Pacers are in 5th place in their division.
Yeah, the Pacers. You're sitting at number 5, right behind Atlanta. Or should be right in front of Atlanta. You're behind Milwaukee.
Yep.
Pacers have been playing good last month, by about 3-4 weeks. They got off to a rough start, but now they're getting some guys healthy. We've been playing some good basketball.
Blah blah blah. Pacers.
Hey, Frankie. We'll talk about another player that I know you love to beat up. What you like about Zion, Frankie? Or not like?
I don't like Zion no more, man. I'm sick of this guy. I really am.
Tell us how you feel.
I used to like Zion. I thought he was gonna dominate the league. I still think he should have went to the Knicks. I feel bad for it. I feel like maybe he would have had like a better shot with the Knicks. But then again, after looking at his career, it would have probably been the same way with the Knicks. The man is an injury-prone guy. He can never be healthy. He can never play on the court. And when he does play on the court, he has a couple good games. But I'm just tired of Zion, man.
Hey, and coming up tomorrow will be the 5-year anniversary of him making his debut.
Wow. 5 years and he still hasn't done anything.
I think I brought up what he's got an all rookie appearance, which hooray. And he's made, I think, 2 All-Star teams.
I think in 5 years, Zion Williamson has played a literally total amount of game of 1 season.
Yeah.
In 5 games or 5 years.
Let me see how many games he's played, because that's always the fun stat to look at, right? It's not how many points or anything like that. It's how many games he's played. Also, speaking of that, he didn't play last night because of an illness.
Go figure. Weak heart. Oh,
so he's played in 10 games this year, guys.
And he's on that Joel Embiid schedule.
Yeah, really. He said there's the fakers, not the Lakers.
Hey,
but here's the best one. You ready?
Hey, Mickey.
Yeah, baby.
Hold on. Hey, yo, Mickey, answer a couple questions for me. Do you have a basketball team? Because your state can't even keep one. Answer another one for me. What is Julio Rodriguez stands for in English? Lahu sir.
So I looked it up, Frankie. So as we know, there's 82 games in a regular season for basketball. Zion's played for 5 years. He's played in 194 games. So just over two seasons worth of basketball in 5 years. About 2.5, you could say.
Jeez. That's terrible. I mean,
so he's missed half his career.
Contract.
He's missed half his career. I mean, the numbers don't lie.
How many games? 162?
He's played He's played in 194 out of however many games.
That's bad.
He averages 24.5 points in his career, 4.2 assists, 6.6 rebounds.
I know Tony could.
Those are not awful numbers, but God, he's never on the court.
You put Tony in the NBA.
I mean, it's not like you get a large sample size to choose from.
He shoots 32% from the field, or from 3-point line rather, and 58% from the field. This year, he's having a rough year though. 48.5% from the field in 10 games.
Jeez.
I will say he played.
What's the field really for Zion? Like 4 feet or less to the rim? It's not like he's making like long distance shooting.
The thing too is that he played in a career high game last year with 70. That was his best year. He had a really good. He was an all-star last year, but injuries, poor training, poor diet, whatever you want to say.
What diet? The man's fat.
No heart.
Hey, what was it that Charles Barkley said? He said that's what me and Shaq had a baby.
My thing is, if he has it if he hasn't committed to change in 5 seasons,
in 5 years,
he's not going to.
Do you think a change of scenery? Because look, he's been linked to the Knicks for forever. I think that his career will go to die if he leaves.
No, his career will be the same. It don't matter where he goes. The man cannot stay healthy. It don't matter where he goes. He's like a.
But I wonder how much that weight puts in terms of that.
It don't help. I know that much. It don't help.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But how much weight can the man lose? Because he already lost more weight than he did when he got drafted.
But how much has he gained throughout that time? Hell, you might have lost 20 pounds 5 years ago, but he's probably gained 40 and lost 20.
I haven't kept up with it much this year, to be honest, other than the Pacers. When he started the season this year, didn't he show up in pretty good shape?
He showed up buffy. He lost a lot of fat, but gained a lot of muscle.
Okay, I thought he looked like a lot better, like he was in better shape.
I give him that, but still, with his size and how he is, it does not work for this man.
No,
it's kind of like.
Hey, Frankie, do you want to hear something I just found real quick? So Zion played in 70 games last season. LeBron James played in 71 last year, and LeBron's he was 39. Zion's what, 26?
Frankie, do you think that
24.
Zion doesn't work hard, or you think it's just it don't matter what he does, it's just because of the way his body's built that he's going to have these injuries?
It's the way his body's built. I don't think listen, you can work as hard as you can. It's the way your body's built. Jay and myself kind of know this because we're big, heavy set dudes. We could go out there, we could play basketball, we could have fun, but we're gonna get hurt at some point. You wanna know why? Because of the way our body is built. It'll be different, like Logan or Chris. Logan, you're not like Chris, skinny, and you're not like
skin and bones.
Big. You're like right there, where you could have that, momentum of playing to where me and Jay at some point.
I think what Frankie was saying before he got cut off is the camera adds 10 pounds. I'm really not.
Jay said I'm a nice 230.
Damn.
Frankie done heard Jay's confidence over here.
So ESPN listed again. Look, it could be more or less, but they have him listed at 6'6", 284 pounds. That's a lineman.
Yeah, see,
that's a lineman.
That
that's
can't
not.
do.
You know who that reminds me of? That reminds me of Escalade from And One, if y'all remember that guy.
But 6'6", 284. I mean, that's just a solid guy. That's not like necessarily fat or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Basketball?
I mean,
284.
Yeah, 6'6" should be like a good frame. That'd be like a LeBron. Well, LeBron James is probably about that weight, isn't he? Like, where's LeBron James at?
No. LeBron's probably like 250.
Yeah, probably 250.
But you can't compare the two because look at the muscle mass.
Size wise, how does he compare to what Barkley was?
That's what I'm looking up.
Yeah, Barkley.
Looking at him.
He was a big guy.
And I know Barkley is criticized. He doesn't think that he works near hard enough.
But hell, Barkley was on the court though.
Yeah, Barkley.
Some guys can get away with it.
Well, Barkley was hard nosed. He had a heart. He wouldn't know.
I agree, Tony. I agree with that. There was a lot of heart back in those days, and you don't have that kind of heart. Well, just look at the league as a whole, man. It's just a bunch of business guys running around calling it basketball. They're not really. It's not like it used to be, man. There's no heart. There's no soul in the game anymore.
Did Barkley ever make? I mean, I know Barkley made money, but did he ever make the kind of money that some of these guys are making?
None of them did. None of them did.
So I mean, they were a lot hard nosed.
Load management, my ass. Your load management is if you broke a leg and you just physically couldn't go. I mean, I don't understand this load management.
Hey, I forget who the player was, but there was some dude for the Celtics who wore a neck brace in the game.
Barkley said when he was in college that he weighed almost 300 pounds. In the NBA, he was listed at 6'6", 250. I think he was heavier than 250. But I did find a quote that he said in college he was when he was playing he weighed nearly 300 pounds.
Who was that? Zion?
No,
Barkley.
It could have been, yeah. It could have been.
That's incredible, though.
What was I'm curious. What was Zion's weight in college? Because I don't feel like there was ever a big issue about his weight in college.
He was fat in college.
Yeah, I was about to say he's probably about.
I remember watching him in Duke. He was fat in Duke.
So it says in
he was Mickey Delaney fat.
Oh, Frankie.
Okay, so yeah. So it says he was listed at 285 at Duke. But that's the thing is that he looked leaner then. Like, you know what I mean? He looked like 282, but he looked like he had more muscles than he did now. Because yeah, you can weigh 282 one way or another, but it just depends on if you're lifting weights or not, you know? I mean, Jay, you could attest you've lifted a lot of weights in your life.
See,
oh yeah.
Like you can weigh one thing, right? There's a difference between a guy who's 282 who doesn't lift weights and who does.
My question is commitment.
Jay lifts a lot of chickens.
That's what it goes back to.
A lot of
because
chickens
if you
in
look,
that mouth,
I mean, look at Barkley. Barkley was close to the same size.
Right.
Don't have none of the upgrades in nutrition and everything we have now. I mean, these are a big advantage.
I don't think
he was able to stay healthy. So why I mean, what's the difference?
You were a number one overall draft pick in the most modern technology age of all time, where you can get whatever you want dialed in. You can get whatever diet you want. You can hire however many trainers. You have all this money, right? Number one overall pick money. And 5 years later, we're just kind of hanging out. Also, thank you for that, Billy. It was Gerald Henderson who wore the neck brace. Thank you. I was thinking about who that was.
That was what also helps with Zion? It doesn't help that he lives in New Orleans. You know for a fact he's eating that barbecue every day.
He's eating that gumbo.
He's eating that every day.
Listen, this guy's probably got a dump truck full of crawfish and just comes to his house.
He said crawfish.
But if he goes to New York, what's he gonna do in New York? Sit around and eat pizza all day?
Oh God, yeah. In New York? Hey, he's gonna be going to the hot dog carts and just give me.
Don't mention them hot dog carts. That's where my son lives. My son live there.
I'll tell you right now. You ever try one of them hot dog carts, man? You will never eat another hot dog from a supermarket again.
We ate a hot dog cart in Washington D.C. and Austin fell in love. That's all he wanted to eat the whole week. We was in Washington D.C. with a hot dog cart.
They are so good. I'm not gonna lie.
Three at once.
Where in New York do you get a hot dog cart? Anywhere? Like
anywhere in the corner where you see a goddamn cart, Jay.
I mean, look, I've been in New York one time, and it was around the Empire State Building.
Hey, you know where you can get some good eats in New York. And shout out to our guy Geo Gump. You can find some good food out there in New York.
He ain't gonna get that hot dog cart.
Geo Gump.
Yeah.
I want that hot dog carts were everywhere in DC as well.
Yeah, everywhere.
I never really saw a hot dog cart when I was in DC. That doesn't come to mind. I've been all over DC. I mean,
we were over by like the White House and all the museums and stuff.
Yeah,
like a bunch of them over there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, I'm gonna have to go back. It's been a hot minute. I mean, I lived in DC from 02 to 04.
I'm telling you, Austin would have been happy just sitting right there on the bench all day and just getting a hot dog every now and then. He didn't care about going anywhere else.
Yeah,
if I'd have known that, I'd have joined Austin. Me and him both would have sat there and ate them hot dogs.
You do make good money, Billy. You do really, honestly, like you don't understand that how many people. And this is just my theory because I'm from New York. In my theory, like you don't know how many people in a day from morning till night that are walking the Manhattan streets and they are just like hungry. You don't want to stop and wait in line like at a McDonald's or wait at line at a pizza spot or anything like that. No, what are you gonna do? You're gonna quickly stop at the cart that's having hot dogs because they're so goddamn delicious and they're cheap as hell too. Don't mind you, they're cheap as hell with a can of soda. It's cheap as hell.
Like what do you consider to be cheap as hell? Like what? $4, $3?
Yeah, they're cheap.
Wow.
He said the hot dog carts on New York streets are so good, but you never eat them if you saw where they store roaches and rats. Hey, Frank, I know you fighting off those mutated rats out there.
Hey, yo, I'll eat a rat.
Hey, yo.
What up?
He said as long as I get some sauce on it, I'm good.
Hey, you gonna try it out. It's good. What else you gonna eat when the world goes into apocalypse zone?
Hey, listen, all I know is any kid out there, don't become Frankie the Yankee.
I'll eat a squirrel.
Stay off drugs.
Eat a squirrel. I'll skin a squirrel like a rabbit.
I've squirrel before.
Never have.
I'm eating a cockroach like a Doritos chip.
Squirrel gravy.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, let's do our last topic here, fellas. Jay, literally the news broke as we ended the show yesterday, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. Ben Johnson is the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, who went 5-12 this year. As soon as the show ended, I looked on ESPN and I said, Jay, we just missed this. This just broke a minute ago. So we brought it over to today. So obviously we know what he did in Detroit the last couple of seasons. Turned the whole team around, helped. Made Jared Goff look great. Had a good running game. They have some good weapons over there. Can he recreate that with the Chicago Bears with Caleb Williams obviously going under his second year as quarterback after a rough first year? My thoughts, and I'll hand it over to you, Jay. I think that it doesn't really matter if you don't get an improvement to your offensive line. If you can't protect Caleb Williams, there's no point in even trying. It's going to be tough. They don't really have a tremendous running game, really, per se. They struggle with that. You got to get some better receiving talent. But the postseason or the offseason isn't here yet. They haven't drafted. So the current roster isn't going to be what it is when Johnson takes over. So did you think this was a good hire? He's young. I think he's 38, so he's a young head coach. Do you think he succeeds early on in Chicago? Do you think he struggles in year one?
Yeah, I think this is probably the first thing that the Chicago Bear Mulaski's family or whatever has gotten right. Since this is probably the best thing they've done since Lovie Smith was there. I mean, this is the right guy. He's got the right mindset. He's very creative, but the one thing that Chicago and maybe pretty much the rest of the world's got to keep in mind is this guy can't go in Chicago and do what he did like he did in Detroit because, like you said a minute ago, Logan, he doesn't have the lineup to do half of the things that he was doing in Detroit. So if I'm in Chicago, I got to go into the mindset of I've got to give this guy at least 3 to 4 years to really get this roster and these draft picks where he wants it to be. And then I can start to expect to see the likes of the Detroit Lions and what he did there. But it's going to be a process, and the Chicago's going to have to go through the process with him. But I think if you put your trust in Ben and let him lead the way, that this Chicago team could finally turn the page and get back to where they were back when in the McMahon era days when Jim McMahon was throwing the rock, right?
Hell, even with like Brian Urlacher, they made to the Super Bowl that year. Devin Hester.
Yeah.
So
who they lose to in the Super Bowl that year?
Right, guys? But you got
let
to
him know,
him
Chris.
time.
Yeah, you tell him.
Let him know, Chris.
Who they lose to in the Super Bowl that year?
Yeah, y'all know very well. So Frankie, what do you think? Do you like the hire? Do you think it's a good fit? I will say he doesn't have any head coaching experience. He's only been coordinators his whole tenure.
Yeah, I think it is. Honestly, in my opinion, I think it's an absolute great fit for him. I mean, the one thing that Chicago probably needs is an offensive-minded head coach, right? I feel like that's the one thing because their defense is set. You got the coaching staff that's running a really great defense there. Now you need someone there that just knows what they're doing on offense. And I feel like him and Caleb Williams, I feel like they're going to be a great fit. And let's not overlook, like, Chicago has a pretty good offense. They really do. It's not like they have an offense that is trash. No, at this time, they had a coach that was trash, that was making terrible decisions. I think Ben Johnson does a really amazing job with Chicago. I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl just yet, but I do predict that, he at least breaks the curse and gets them back into a playoff at least. And before I let you guys go and we finish this off, not to mention that the defensive coordinator for the Lions and what's his name? Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn. He's probably going to be gone soon.
He most likely is going to be the next head coach of the New York Jets. The reports came out this morning that he is interviewing with the Jets today, I believe, and they're not going to let him leave the building until a contract is done.
Okay, so they're really pursuing him then. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, rightfully so. I think that he's a very talented coach in Glenn, and we'll see if he ends up going there or not. But I think that obviously we knew both these guys would be gone. So Chris and Tony, what did you guys think of this move by Chicago? Look, we know this past year Detroit's offense was top tier, right? Top offense with points per game with over 33, set multiple records. I mean, they were just rolling on offense. Does it carry over to Chicago?
I don't know. To me, the jury's still out because, I mean, I'm not saying he's not a great coach, but like you guys said, he don't have near the weapons that he had in Chicago as he had in Detroit. So that makes a difference. The other thing, too, you had a head coach who had a very strong culture there in Detroit. Is he going to be able to bring that culture to Chicago? I think that makes a big difference.
Well, now we get to see the Dan Campbell coaching tree start, right?
Yep.
We've seen it work with some coaches. We've seen it not work with other coaches.
Yes, definitely.
So, I mean, it just depends.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a good coach. I think he'll do well. One thing that could work against him, you guys said give him 3 or 4 years. Well, look what Washington did this year. Did anybody expect that coach to go into Washington and make that team a playoff team? So
Yes.
what is Chicago's expectations going to be? Hey, are they going to be willing to wait 3 or 4 years if things don't go well? What if they only win 5 games this year? Are they going to be patient?
I think to that
Are
point,
they going to be patient enough?
oh, absolutely.
I think they have to.
But I think to that point, you're going to find out once and for all: is Caleb Williams the right guy at number 1, or is it what we all?
They're in this
believe
stretch here. They're in this stretch.
Is really yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, he now has a coach that can develop a quarterback that's offensive minded.
Yep.
If he can't thrive under this guy, then I really think you got to start looking at Caleb Williams as a bust and not really necessarily the number 1 guy. That's what.
Well, can you say that? Can you and I'm not saying this because I'm a Pats fan, but can you throw Drake Maye in the mix as well? Because he's having Mike Vrabel as a coach now.
No, that's fair. Because I mean, that was what he played one. That's his rookie year too. So I mean,
and he didn't even start the season. He didn't play until week 9.
Also, the Bears have a better roster than the Patriots at this point right now.
They do.
At this point,
but coming into this year, the Patriots have the highest cap space coming in at 133 mil, and they have a top 4 draft pick. I mean, Mike Vrabel he's got a shot right here to do something.
Honestly, I think the Patriots are going to be better than the Bears are going to be next season.
Billy says,
I love you, Chris.
He says as much as he hates Washington, he hopes they beat Philly.
It's hard on me to comment on this because, and the reason is, I think Johnson's a hell of an offensive coordinator. I don't know if he's a head coach. And the reason I feel like that is because we at Indianapolis, we went after the great offensive coordinator. He done this with Jalen Hurts. He done all that. He came to Indianapolis, and our culture is terrible. So he's not a leader. He's a great – Shane Steichen's been a great play caller, but I don't think he's been a leader. And that's what – so I'm kind of soured on these offensive coaches that are just great play callers. So with Ben Johnson, I need to see if he's a leader or not. And I agree with Logan. If they don't fix their offensive line, it don't matter who their coach is.
Yeah, that's the risk that you take in hiring any coordinator, right? Whether it be offense, defense, hell, sometimes even special teams coordinators get head coaching jobs. Is especially if they have 0 head coaching experience, whether it's in the NFL or in college, hell, even in high school, is because there's a lot more responsibilities being a head coach as opposed to being a coordinator. As coordinator, all Ben Johnson studied for the last 3 years was just how to make that offense fine-tuned.
Now you have to worry about travel schedules.
You got to worry about your defense. You got to worry about your special teams. You got to worry about practice squad. I mean, all of this stuff. Hell, I don't know how Bill Belichick did it for all those years as GM. Also, I mean, God, I don't think he had time to even breathe. But I mean, the thing too I like about Johnson, he's young. He's 38, which is a baby for most coaches. So I think that even if this doesn't work out at the end, which we don't know, he's still going to be in the league for a long time because he's always going to have that track record of I helped turn the Detroit Lions around. So if it doesn't work as a head coach, I still think that he can always go back to that offensive coordinator role.
Yeah, I mean, look at Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do great as a head coach with Arizona, but I mean, look at him now.
And you had mentioned Washington. I think the advantage that coach at Washington had that Johnson's not going to have is he had been a head coach before. Dan Quinn had been a head coach before, so he knew going in. He had that experience. He knew which he had success as a head coach in Atlanta before they ended up letting him go.
Did he have success?
No, he didn't
win a Super Bowl, but they had a good team.
That was the best run the team's had since the 90s.
Yeah, but how did it finish
I would yearn for that now.
How did it finish out?
Oh, I know how it finished out. The whole world knows how it finished out.
20 out to a loss, but he's had success as a head coach. Yeah, he was able to use that experience going into Washington.
Yeah, that's it. Now Washington went from a number 2 overall pick to a number 4 team in the league.
Yeah, you know what he learned? He learned to now start going for it more on 4th downs. No, don't give the ball back to the team because that's what he learned from doing it to Tom Brady. He kept giving Tom Brady the ball back, and it cost him the Super Bowl, having a 28-3 lead. Now he learned, and all he's doing is going on for a 4th down. And I'm serious too, like you guys are saying. I'm not trying to knock him, but because he learned that mistake, literally he's been nonstop going for it on 4th down. I think the Washington Commanders are literally number 1 team
Almost
going
90%.
for it on fourth down.
I think
And
the 22 and 26 or 22 and 25 on the year going on fourth down. 87 to 90% effective on going fourth down.
So, and then we'll wrap it up here because Jay, you got a question saying, what's Dallas going to do for a head coach? Any thoughts? I feel like they're tied to everybody. Obviously, you've heard Kellen Moore, you've heard Deion Sanders, you've heard.
They're going for Moore, Kellen Moore. I send you guys the news.
I heard Kingsbury. What do you
think they're going after Kingsbury too?
I heard that.
Everything what do you prefer? Throwing out this makes me want to vomit.
Do you have anyone in mind that you really want?
It's going to be Kellen Moore.
In all honesty, man, I know what kind of coach Primetime is. I know what kind of person Primetime is. I actually want to see that kind of come to fruition. I want to see because one thing about Deion is he's not going to listen to Jerry and everything. Jerry, he's going to have his own way of wanting to do things. You know how Primetime is. Prime don't play around when it comes to doing things the way he wants to do it. Now, I don't know if that marriage can be 100% successful, but I do think that Primetime can relate to the players. I think he knows what it takes to win. I think he knows how much he hates to lose. I think Primetime would be a good spot there. I don't know if there's always an unknown with that, but he did well with Jackson State. He did well with Colorado State. Now, you can always say, well, Jay, their strength of schedules weren't exactly the toughest in the world, and you'd be correct. They're not.
Well, he turned Colorado from a 1-win team to a 9-win team. Yeah, but some two names I'd seen here. Let's see. So we got
if they get Frankie
C's. Oh God, if Frankie takes over the Cowboys, he's just going to fold the team. He says, "No Deion, please. I'm anti-Deion. Primetime never tackled."
I mean, he don't have to tackle to coach. He don't have to tackle to be a game manager. I mean, everybody else is doing that.
He said, "Screw
Billy Billy
has
it's going to be Kellen Moore. That's who Dallas is going to hire.
So there's two new names I'm going to throw out there that we haven't mentioned. Heddie George, who was the head coach of Tennessee State, and someone in-house, Jay, Brian Schottenheimer.
I've heard both those names as well.
Again, none of this
none of these moves you
makes me happy. All of it makes me disgusted. So,
Jay,
you in the team of it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Hey, Jay, when's your birthday?
September 20th.
I'm gonna get you a Kellen Moore jersey for your birthday.
Oh my God, a jersey!
You know, I'm not mad at you, Gonzo. I appreciate you.
Hey, we got to replace that. We got to replace that Ezekiel Elliott one up there. That one's tarnished goods now.
Yeah, we'll replace it with the Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not happy.
Actually, I should be having my Troy Aikman jersey any day now. Yeah. Glenn mailed it to me, so hopefully that
you'll be replacing it.
Will go away, and Aikman will take its place.
I think that'd look a lot better.
Hey, Chris,
look, I had to look what I had to represent. All I had at that time, and I bought the Elliott jersey the day he got drafted. So I thought it was going to be a really great jersey at that time, and
it was for a while.
For a minute it was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not happy. The Colts got their defensive coordinator, which I do not like. Chris likes it.
You got the Bengals D coordinator with
Anaram. 25 points a game last year.
Yeah, 2 years ago, he had top 10 defense in the league.
That was 2 years ago.
You can only coach the talent you have. You can only coach the talent you have.
And he was there when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, here's my thing. I think the Colts have more talent on their defense right now than what the Bengals do,
and they'll tell
you
that.
Why I think why I think it's a good move. Well, I think it was more because the Bengals let a lot of their defensive guys go because they're paying everybody on offense.
I saw, Chris, that the Colts were 29th, I believe, in the league in yards per game with like 336. Yeah. I think that changes. with the hire here. So I think that's an improvement.
I did too. I think he's a lot better defense coordinator.
God!
I hope so.
I hope this isn't true. Bradley it's a rumor, but Billy is saying I heard Will Levis getting traded to the Colts.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, that happens. I'm going to become a Patriots fan with Frankie. I'm going to root against the Colts. I'm going to root against the Colts' biggest or old rival, the Patriots, if they bring in Levis. I'm done.
I can't go with Frankie. Fuck that. But I may change teams. Maybe I'll be a Bengal fan. They're fairly close. Bears.
Oh God, yeah,
there you go. Now I would go for this one every day of the week. Yeah, because we'll all be having liquor in our water bottles.
It won't be very good, but you'll be feeling good.
Huh? All right, let me see if there's any big news that's came in here because I don't want to do a repeat of yesterday, Jay.
Yeah, there's no way I would be happy if they get Levis. That would be stupid. We could have drafted him last year instead of Richard. 2 years ago instead of Richard.
Who did I tell you I think they should get as a competition? I think they should go after Fields to be competition.
Who?
I think they should go after Fields to be competition.
Oh, Justin Fields.
Really?
Justin Fields. I think they should bring him in as competition.
That's not a bad idea.
That's who I would bring in.
Now that what's his name feels like he's going to be the starter again, Russell Wilson, that might open it up for Fields to maybe want a shot at that. But then is Fields still under contract or is this contract?
No, they're both free agents.
Wilson and Fields are both free agents.
Yeah, I'd definitely.
So they got to pick one, and I think they're going to go with Wilson.
I would
Now,
definitely.
For Indianapolis.
No. And they're going to go with Field. They're going to
You're
go
talking about with the Steelers.
in the Steelers. I think they're going to go with Wilson.
Yeah, they already. I think they're going to do that too.
I mean, they had him start for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, that's why I think Fields becomes expendable. So yeah, I can see that. Tony, that might be pretty good. Bring him in for.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad move.
Some people think it might be the guy that used to be a quarterback for the Giants, but I'm not sold on him.
You talking about Daniel Jones?
Yep, I've heard that.
You ain't got the money. No one wants to pay for that.
Yeah.
Unless the Giants are paying for it. Unless the Giants are
yeah.
paying for it, then sure, take a flyer. But that's an awful contract.
Yep.
All right, I don't see any breaking news here, so we are going to call it here.
No, we do have one more. Just one more. The Dodgers ended up signing someone.
Oh my God, I forgot. I'm trying to forget about things, Frankie. Oh, Thomas. Who?
The Dodgers ended up signing another pitcher.
Oh, you're right. They signed Kirby Yates, who a couple of years ago he was a really good closer, I think, for the Padres. He's been hurt in recent years. He played last year. Yeah, he had a bounce back year last year. 7-2, 1.17 ERA, and 61.2 innings, 85 strikeouts.
I hate the Dodgers. Did I ever tell you guys that?
He's third. To be fair, he is going to be 30. He is going to be 38. So if you're a Dodgers hater, you hope the old age gets to him. But he's coming off an All-Star year.
Why would you go and get this guy? You just signed Tanner Scott.
Because why not? Why not add more players? Why not add more?
They're going to load up on as much pitching as they can after what happened last year with their pitching because they went into the playoffs with a lot of their pitchers hurt.
And they still won.
How can this be legal? How many? What is it? 26 players that you're allowed to have in your rotation
on the team.
I mean,
How much damn money does a Yankee spend? They're number 2. I don't want to hear this crybaby shit.
Hold on, Tony. Hold on. We spend money, but are we spending as much money as the goddamn Dodgers?
No one is.
Listen,
we're
not now.
We're not. We didn't even get close. Listen, we didn't even get close to 300 million signing players this offseason.
What a sentence that is, Jay.
We didn't get close to 300 million. I don't want to hear this crybaby shit.
Hey, I will tell you like this, Frankie. You are the franchise that started all this crazy spending. We weren't spending money like that until y'all were spending money.
Hold on.
And then everybody blew up from then. So you
guys hold on.
It.
No. We started deferreds? Did we start that?
No, that was actually the Dodgers taking what you did and amping it up one.
If I'm not mistaken, George Steinbrenner.
I will say that I don't think you should be able to defer the contract, but that's been going on for a long time. Because hell, Darryl Strawberry was still getting paid, or one of them guys.
Bobby
Bonilla. He was getting paid for like 30 years.
He's getting paid till 2034.
Yeah, Bobby Bonilla started that deferred money with the Mets way back when.
Tony, don't get mad at me because your owner's poor.
Hey, it is what it is. I'm used to it. I'm Mexican. I'm used to being poor.
I will say this. I
don't cry about being poor. You guys spent $300 million, and you're
no. I'm not crying. It's pissing me off because of the goddamn deferred monies that they're giving out. How can you get these much play? And MLB has to get into this and be like, listen, you can't just keep deferring these players. Like it's literally ridiculous.
The current CBA it expires next December.
I don't either.
Still have a whole year. until this gets changed.
I mean, if that's the fucking case, Dodgers, hire me for a freaking equipment manager. You could defer my paychecks. I'll be your equipment manager for the next freaking 10 years or something. Damn. This is ridiculous. Jay, you want to be water boy for the Dodgers? They're going to defer your money for the next 15 years.
I'll go be a water boy.
This is the Mets. This is the Mets' fault. Hold on.
Almost $4 a week.
This is the Mets' fault. Don't blame. You can't blame the Yankees. This is the Mets for doing that shit to Bobby Bellina.
Wow. Oh, there you go.
Goddamn Mets.
What are the? Who's the top five? Top five teams spending money.
You said top 5 teams spending money?
Yeah.
Top of the dome, I'm going to go, obviously, Dodgers, Yankees, probably the Phillies, to be honest.
Red Sox, too?
Mets.
Nah, Mets. I don't think Red Sox. Mets. Who's the other 5?
Texas was up there at one time, but
yeah.
Not Texas. California was at one time. Angels was at one time. That's probably dropped some.
Yeah, with Ohtani being gone, that definitely dropped. Let me see. MLB teams with top 5 payrolls. Let's see if this is. Dodgers, Yankees, then Phillies, then Mets, and then the Rangers at 5. Hey, Jay, Braves at 6, Astros at 7, buddy. We're in the top 10.
Hell yeah!
This is also, just so you know, this has not been updated in a minute.
Where's the Reds?
So far.
The Astros to be in the top 10 in payroll.
Where's the Reds,
I don't expect them to be like.
Oh, the Reds.
We're probably about 25, 26.
I was going to say 25.
You're close, 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Marlins are in debt. Hey, you know the funny thing? The Marlins, I don't think, have spent a single dollar this offseason.
Oh, they haven't.
They've not spent a penny.
Is that smart?
No, they're not trying at all to even win.
I mean, what's the point in trying right now? Right? I mean, you might as well save that money for future.
But the fact you're not even going to add a player to your team.
My bad. You know what? You're right, Logan. You're right. There's going to be no future because the Dodgers are signing everyone just at first for the next 10 guys.
There's no one left.
I keep forgetting. There's no one left for them to sign.
I'm trying to.
I don't think the Dodgers won it this year.
Hey, before we get out of here, I do have one thing I'd like to say.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Join us tonight at 7. Different start time, 7. But we got a big special show. We usually don't go live on Tuesdays, but owner of WCWO Wrestling, who's doing a big show, actually 2 big shows, the Friday before Royal Rumble here in Indianapolis, is going to be joining us to talk about basically the effects of the Royal Rumble coming to Indianapolis on the independent wrestling scene.
Okay.
Should be interesting. Should be a real interesting conversation. So I'll definitely check it out tonight.
It'll be really interesting.
All right. Well, y'all heard it here first. It's going to be obviously on Gonzo Wrestling.
Chris, for your wrestling show, when you started off, do something for me. I want you to just start the show and be like, Zero Miedo!
Well, see who Frankie's a big fan of.
I love Penta. Penta's my dude.
What do you think? What the WWE's done with him the first 2 weeks?
I love it. I absolutely love it. He especially putting him up against Chad Gable and then putting him against Pete Dunne. Yep. That's absolutely amazing. I can't wait for what they got in store for him at WrestleMania.
Jay, what you think?
I don't. And I said this to my wife. I'm like, because I'm a huge Penta fan. I'm like, when they announced that he was going to be a tag team with Rey Mysterio for January 6th, I'm glad that they knocked that off. They scratched it out. Yep. Because I do not want – Penta's not a guy where you start him off on a tag team, unless it's his brother. But you don't start him off on a tag team. You got to – this man is an absolute amazing luchador wrestling. Like, he's literally right there with Rey Mysterio. I think he's going to be great. I don't want him being a tag team right now. Because if he started off as a tag team, then we know where his is going to go to a WrestleMania. It's going to be a tag team match at WrestleMania for him. I don't want that. Penta deserves the spotlight on himself finally in the biggest and grandest stage of them all.
I know he's been impressive.
He has been.
Mm-hmm. He looks good. But all right, hey, we'll end up there. Like I said, check out Chris's channel and of course our channel here later on tonight for that exclusive interview. It's going to be a good time. Guys, appreciate y'all coming on today. Tony, Chris, Jay, Frankie, the boys, appreciate it. All the great love today, all the good topics. Once again, Jay, go ahead.
No, I just want to remind everybody, man, please, if you enjoyed our content today, set aside Frankie. I'm kidding. If you enjoyed our content, then I'm kidding, Frankie. I'm kidding. Don't get your butt hurt in the wad. I'm kidding.
Coming from someone who wants me to run the TikTok schemes.
There you go. No, but seriously, hey, if you've enjoyed our content today, please give us a like and share. But most importantly, give us a subscribe on YouTube and go over to Gonzo's Sports Room and Gonzo's Wrestling Room on YouTube and give them a like and share and a subscribe. I promise you're not going to miss out on this content if you subscribe to us. And we want to make sure we're reaching everybody. So
hey, Jay,
don't forget to subscribe.
Jay, show the world your amazing shirt. It's going to take a felon.
And a
hillbilly to
fix this. and yes, Jay, did you wear that shirt yesterday?
I wore the alternate version of this shirt.
The alternate version? He said he
I got a couple of Trump shirts. Listen, I just do it for fun, man. Don't kill me on this.
Hey, as long as they're a nice cotton blend, they're comfy t-shirts, right?
Yeah, the other one's a moisture wicket. I sweat a lot, Logan.
Listen, for all the people watching, we're not a political show. We're not a political show.
We're not. We're not a political show.
Jay, you do what you want to do. You know, that's you, man. Don't worry what the world cares and what they think about you, man. If you want to wear a Trump shirt, you wear a Trump shirt. That liquor bottle that you're drinking right now, that liquor you're drinking, that's from Donald J. Trump, damn it.
Hey, Frankie, get it right. WWE Hall of Famer.
45th and 47th president of the United States.
Donald J. Trump, baby.
Hey, he beat up Vince McMahon at WrestleMania. Never forget.
He shaved his head.
He threw those hammer fists like a
He
UFC
shaved his
match.
head.
And when Vince gets convicted, he's going to give him a pardon.
And then we got Durag Vince. Who can forget? But that's another story for another day. Once again, for all the guys here on ESEN, appreciate all the love and support. And we will talk with y'all again on another live episode of the afternoon show. See y'all tomorrow at 2 p.m.